Hi everybody, welcome back to OCD Illustrated, the channel where I, Katie, talk about obsessive compulsive disorder and things to do with obsessive compulsive disorder. I put this video in the miscellaneous category because I don't have any overarching category that it otherwise fits. And the topic today is things a great therapist for OCD can do. The qualities that I'm talking about are good for any therapist, but they specifically deal with OCD and finding a great OCD therapist. Okay, that's Bob. He is a therapist, and he treats OCD. Not only does he treat OCD, he treats OCD really, really well. And as he is a therapist who treats OCD really well, here are some of the things that he is a superstar at. Okay, a great OCD therapist is a superstar at psychoeducation, which means that they're able to teach you about OCD and OCD treatment. You want to find a therapist who either already knows more about OCD than you or who is willing to learn more about OCD than you and can take all the research and clinical science and translate it into a form that you understand. The second thing that a great OCD therapist can do is to implement cognitive behavioral therapy and to ensure that the CBT that they're teaching you includes exposure and response prevention, and you can find a whole bunch of other videos that I made explaining the details of that. Not only are they going to implement CBT and ERP, but they're going to teach you how to be your own cognitive behavioral therapist and how to run your own exposures so that after you stop seeing them, you can continue doing the things that keep you healthy. Now, those first two stars were in order of most important. 3 through 7 are just going to be in any old order that I thought of them. So without further ado, number 3, great thing that an OCD therapist can do is to spot patterns in your behavior and your thoughts. Especially if you're just starting OCD treatment, chances are you came in with 1 or 2 things that are bothering you, but there's probably a lot more OCD roots growing into a lot of other behaviors that you haven't noticed. And having a therapist who can point out, hey, that looks like OCD, I think we need to work on that, is really valuable because it means you're like tearing up the roots of the plant and you don't have new ones sprouting up all the time. Number 4, a great OCD therapist can share resources with you, whether that's directing you to books, to movies, to iPhone apps, whatever it means, to support groups. A great OCD therapist is able to get you resources other than themselves that you can use to fight your OCD. The 5th great thing that an OCD therapist can do is to think of creative exposures, and by this I mean not just same old boring ones, but ones that really fit your OCD really well. So more than just something they looked up out of a book, but they're creative about how to trigger your OCD. And then, after they think of those creative exposures, they should be able to coach you through them. This does not mean that they try to make you feel better. This means that they try to keep your anxiety reasonably high until it goes down on its own. So by coaching you through them, they're probably going to be saying things like sit with it and be curious about your anxiety rather than, and they would be avoiding saying, it's going to be okay, and other reassurance, things like that. Number 6, a great OCD therapist can refer you to the appropriate level of care. While many people with OCD can successfully be treated in outpatient therapy, some of us need more support to be able to carry out exposures. And there are higher levels of care. There's residential programs, there's intensive outpatient programs, there's partial programs, and a good OCD therapist will be able to direct you to those if it's advisable. And last one, number 7. I kind of thought of this after I'd thought of all the other ones, so it's kind of weirdly off to the side. Here we go. Number 7, last thing a good OCD therapist can do is to keep you motivated. Oh my God. OCD therapy, doing exposure and response prevention is exhausting. Doing the ritual prevention part is something you have to do every day. Doing the exposures is something you have to make yourself do every day. And it's easy to lose motivation. And a good OCD therapist can keep reminding you why it's important for you to do ERP so that you can stay well. Okay, so those are 7 core things that a really great OCD therapist can do. Um, that's not to say that there aren't other important things that an OCD therapist can do, but those are kind of the 7 that stood out in my mind. And as usual, thank you for watching. If you felt this was helpful or useful, please subscribe to my channel. I try to put out a video once a week, twice a week. Um, and if you've got any questions, please feel free to comment and I will try to answer you back. Thank you very much.